Good morning and welcome to day one of our 3-day backpacking trip. I'm excited. I mean, I didn't sleep well at all last night, but there's some good flows here. The water's really cold. There's some good pools right up behind me. So first thing this morning, I've already set up my fly rod. I'm gonna fish right next to camp. Might go a few hundred yards downriver or a few hundred yards upriver, depending on what we see for satellite imagery. And we're just gonna target these deeper pools where you've got these pillows, these turbulent areas, and see if there's any brook trout in there. That's pretty shallow, it's not deep enough, but right behind me you can see that there's this glassy, sort of more open pool. Last night when we originally got in here, it was about, I want to say 4 feet deep. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to target. I fished up here before. I've had success. I haven't been this high up, but we know sort of how this river works. Typically the brook trout are hanging out under these canopies, out of the sun. Plenty of insects for them to feed on. Anyway, Devin's getting out of bed. He's going to set up his fly rod. We'll get fishing this morning and see if we have any success. If we start catching fish, we'll probably hang around for a little bit. If not, we'll keep moving.
You can't just pull off anywhere.
We switched up our spots from this morning. There just wasn't enough deep pools for the brook trout. So we hiked a little bit further up into the valley, and now we're trying out a section of river with a better canopy. Look at that, Devin. It was tiny. Tiny. You got one? Devin's got one.
Look at his fin.
Wow, that's a good one.
Look at how red. Look at the fucking how deep red and awesome. Dude, this water's so
We're starting to get those white fins.
Yeah. Coloring up.
We're both on the board, 1 for 1. I've got a small brook trout, very pretty colors. Devin has caught like a 3.5-inch brook trout, both native. Both starting to get that white line on their fins, and they got these hues on the side of their body, these deep purple colors, both beautiful. But I'm gonna keep working down this river. If you look straight down, there's all these pools underneath this canopy. And these fish like to hang out underneath the canopy. You know, insects get up on the leaves, it rains, the insects drop down into the brook. And then on top of that, you have all these nice currents that run right into the side of this wall where it gets deep. And the food tends to collect right in here. That's where we're gonna find these bigger fish if we're gonna find natives of any size. So Devin just crossed right where I had pointed out earlier, and I got my boots on still. I need to switch over to the Chaco so that I don't get these things soaked. I'm gonna need them when we hike out. I mean, we're probably 5-6 miles in the woods right now, and I want to make sure I'm hiking out in boots instead of sandals so that I'm not cutting my feet up. But I'm gonna switch over now and then start making my way down to meet him. Oh wow, I haven't stepped in water this cold in a while. Good fish? Oh shit, he's got a good one. Good fish on.
They've got their fall colors already coming.
Wow, it's a pretty fish. Look at that thing. Nice, dude. How many now?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Out of this hole?
4 out
Or
of
total?
4 out of 4 for 4 casts. No, I'm just kidding.
4 for 4 casts, huh?
No, 3, dude. There's the first one I caught. There was one right behind it, coming after it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I love how aggressive they are. It's crazy.
Dude, look at the teeth on this guy. If you can get a close up on him. See those things?
Running this wolf. And they're absolutely hammering it. Gonna need to change a battery soon, but I'm gonna see if I can hook one up before I drop the pack. Devin's hooked up on a super colorful brook trout. I guess they're already colored up in their fall colors, but he just caught a nice one on the stimulator, so I'm probably gonna switch over to that. But I want to get up here and show you what we're looking at here. Did you lose them?
Yeah, dude, crazy. That's fall colors right there.
Beautiful fish. Devin just casted twice, caught 2, both popped off, but they were of good size for a native trout population like we're targeting.
Small stream, small mountain stream.
Small mountain stream. I'm gonna check out the slow section here. They're all up on that pillow, but likely the bigger guys are even chilling in this back section. He just got, oh, you hooked up again, and he's off. Just caught another off camera, so I'm at, I think 4 or 5 on the day. And we're working our way toward the section of the river that gets a little bit deeper. Has a lot more potential to start catching fish that are anywhere from 8 to 12 inches, which, you know, those are trophies for a high mountain brook like this. But it's just cool to get out here, sort of be in the middle of the wilderness. Not a lot of human presence at all, even though there's trails. And to just cast into this brook and catch these fish that are unbothered in their own environment, it's so awesome. New pool, let's check it out. Next hole. Oh, that's one. Oh, I just had one. I said I was going to swap to a stimulator earlier, and I haven't yet. I'm still running a wolf. But once we get up to these pools that are a little bit deeper, I'm planning to switch over, because the stimulator, for whatever reason, that orange belly, the brook trout are just absolutely hammering it. And I've just been trying to get as much footage as possible to share the story without, you know, I guess overdoing it on the camera. So once we get into this better water, I'm definitely putting a stimulator on to see if we can catch some more fish. But I guess one of the cooler sides of fishing up here in the fall is these brook trout just have such insane colors, and we just keep finding that every time we catch one. The wolf's been pretty productive, but like I said earlier, I'm going to switch over to a stimulator. Years ago, we were running stimulators. It was actually when I was just getting into fly fishing, and we had no idea what we were doing, and just happened to pick one of those flies at the fly shop, and these brook trout were hammering that fly. And since we've been out here running them, for whatever reason, the stimulator still seems to take priority with these brook trout. So I'm gonna throw one on. That's what you're looking at. They absolutely love these things. A little bit of orange and yellow on there. For whatever reason, that body seems to attract them the most. I'm gonna tie this on and then start working these pillows just below the pillows all the way down around these snake turns. There's a bunch of sharp turns for the rest of the river until we get to the trail that we're gonna jump on, and then hike into the next valley and start fishing the river where it's supposed to be deeper. A little bit harder walking over all these rocks with so much weight on my back. But I switched over to that stimulator, and I'm not even kidding. 2 casts, 2 fish. They love it. I'm trying to catch up to Devin right now. We got spaced out for a little bit. We tend to do that because we get so fixated on the next pool, the next pool. So usually whoever's up top ends up disappearing. But I see him down here. He's got his red cap on. Makes it a little bit easier to find him. I'm just gonna keep cruising down this section of the river, see if we can get some deep pools, and then we're probably gonna cut over and head toward the other notch. I think the river is definitely deeper in that area, so with any luck, we'll start catching some 12+ inch native brook trout. finished packing up and we're gonna be heading to the next section of trails and river that we've essentially e-scouted. So waiting for Devin to put his shoes on. We'll throw our packs back on. We're gonna bushwhack through some pretty thick softwoods, find the trail, and then hike over there. So I'm gonna put the GoPro away for a little bit, and then we'll see about doing some filming here once we get on that next section of river, which is bigger. We're trying to find a spot to set up camp, hopefully past this rainstorm, and then start fishing. Definitely a bigger section of the river, a lot more water, deeper pools. I think it's either going to be we get into some nice fish or it's a complete bust. I haven't fished this high up yet. I know there's lower sections that have been more productive, and they're all native brook trout. So I'm excited to check this spot out and see what it produces. That was a nice campsite back there, but we've decided we're gonna go further up the river, find another spot to camp, and fish our way down. We'll fish our way up tonight once we set up camp, and then on our way out we'll check all the pools that are downriver all the way out into the trailhead. Wasn't even supposed to rain and it's pouring out. All right, just set camp up. Finally got the rod and reel ready to go, rigged up. I've got all my devices attached to my body. I didn't bring a pack out here because it'd be too heavy, like a hip pack. So I'm gonna head down to the river. We are literally right next to it. We're gonna fish up. There's a bunch of pools that we wanna check out. We'll come back to camp, and then tomorrow morning we'll fish down. Tonight the plan is a fire, dinner, and then we're gonna knock out because we're pretty tired. We didn't sleep at all last night. There's a big pool up on the left here that I want to try out. Looks like a good slick, some deep water. The only thing it's missing is a canopy, so I'm not super confident that there's going to be fish in here, but I think it's a good start to see if we're way off or if we're close or what's going on in this area. I've hiked pretty far up the river at this point, and I'm noticing that the water temperatures are way higher. I don't know exactly what they are because I don't have a thermometer, but my toes aren't going numb. The other brook that we were in where we were catching all those fish, it was substantially colder. As we go up the river, there isn't a great canopy still, so I think I'm just gonna turn around, chill at camp for the rest of the night so I'm not gassed tomorrow. And I'm probably gonna talk to Devin about fishing some of that river that we were on earlier, but we sort of walked past, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half of it. Maybe tomorrow we get back up in there, we fish that, and then we get out of here. But I'm gonna see what he thinks. Probably look for some deer tracks while I'm out here. See if there's any big bucks using the river. I didn't know there were oak trees out here until just now, so it's kind of interesting to see it. Maybe we'll come out here with a hot tent and do a series on remote backcountry hunting in New Hampshire. Try to do like a week or so out here. I think that would be interesting, but I'm gonna get back to Devin now. I can see him, he's about 150 yards down the river, and come up with a plan for tomorrow.